The Mystery of BELICENA VILLCA. Fourth Book. Quest for Uncle Kurt. Chapter 22. Karl von Grossen had everything prepared to leave immediately at our arrival. Nevertheless, despite the efforts, the march could not be initiated until 2 days later. The next day to our arrival, I spent, then, entertained walking around the monastery, and consideration the wonderful sculptural work of the pagoda. The remarkable event occurred to me that, surprisingly, affected you, Nefetero, more than 40 years later. At entering in the ship of the Cyclopean carved stone, I was surrounded by an improvised group of Kalika's monks. Up to that moment, they had been intonating a mantram, in front to a giant statue of Shiva, dancing over the dragon yar. When they noticed my presence they went silencing little by little their bejas, and then, just as the Arabs who kidnapped me in the Cairo, they went precipitated as enchanted next to me. But then, I was warned because I had passed long years in the Ettensburg, and in the Black Order under the instruction of Conrad Tarstein to ignore what happened to those initiates. Was the sign of the origin, the invisible sign for me that, in the Kalikas caused the charismatic effect to elevate them spiritually to the origin of oneself. For that motive they wanted to be near to me, contemplate me, sustain the perception of the uncreated. That was all what they wanted, and for this reason, I remained immutable in the sight, while those initiated were absent from the reality of the world and acceded to the reality of the spirit. There, we remained for a while, in absolute silence. A new court of statues for such jellied pantheon. I comprehended their idiom, and I had tried to speak with them, but was worthless because, in their mystical state they considered almost a sacrilege speak to me. After a prudent time, I started to think in the form to escape from them, when I realized that, was coming, unusually smiling, the Guru Vasaraka. All the monks stepped aside and he, taking me by the left arm, took me out from the difficult situation. He guided me slowly to the courtyard, followed at a regular distance by the hallucinated monks. In the courtyard the Sadhakas, that we saw the last night were waiting for him, sustaining each one of them the leash of an enormous mastiff. They had leash around the neck, without muzzle, whence the mentioned leash was subjected, and however, they didn't utter a single bark. Mute, silent as the monks that surrounded me, those terrible dogs were observing me without batting an eye. Then, the Guru Vasaraka spoke. And his word still echoes in my ears with strange clarity. O Jawao, you're a Shiva chulk for us, that is, a manifestation of Shiva. These dogs that you see here, are a gift of our community for who exhibits so clearly the sign of Bhairava. The female is called Kaluya, and the male Ekla. Was the last gift that I would have expected to receive from the Kalikas. I was going to protest, but the Guru not admitted rejoin. Vielen I just said. Your partner von Grossen, who shared many months our table, has entrusted us that the initiates of the SS are capable to stop an enraged mastiff with a scream. I assented with a gesture. Indeed, I said. Every initiate SS must demonstrate that is capable to impose the lordship of the spirit over all the animal creatures of the earth, no matter how wild they are. Ah, sighed the Guru. It results difficult to imagine your world, as for you is impossible to represent ours. More than the races, a universe of symbols separate us, a wall of illusion planted by the great deceiver. You were usually conformed with empty words, in other words, you feel happy with words that represent ideas, ideas that have light weight in the reality, ideas that are as illusory as the rest forms of Maya. The sign that you carry, make you different from the rest of mortal beings. However, neither you, nor your gurus, know how to demonstrate this supremacy. Well, with this simple couple of decas, Obhatattaraka, you will do what nobody have done, except for the carriers of the sign of Shiva, is capable to do in this world. We will reveal your Kikor, mantra mandala Tibetan. Kikor. Geometric figure for ritual or magical use. It means fence. The term kor gives the idea of enclose or imprison. More broadly, a kikor can be a wall, or fortification, sense that also applies to the Sanskrit mandala. That will allow you to command mentally both mastiffs at the same time. To direct a dog with the mind would be effectively incredible for any rationalist mentality, but I considered it possible and took it with naturalness. What resulted incomprehensible to me was to control both mastiffs at the same time. The Guru Visaragada, who continued explaining the characteristics of the sinister gift, didn't delay to clarify all my doubts. Don't let you be persuaded by their fierce aspect. Affirmed with vehemence. They are not common animals, but a very special couple of dogs, Devas dogs. Divine dogs of the gods. Balanced in our monastery thanks to ancient formulas that the caller circle possess. The dogs Devas are manifestations of an archetypical couple of celestial dogs. Each one is the reflect of the other, and both emanate perfectly the dog of heaven. Even their esoteric bodies belong to the same collective soul. They are like couples of manifested opposed principles, and normally, one would neutralize the other irredeemably. During a very ancient war, perhaps, previous to the one that narrates the Mahabharata, the Gurus trained the dogs Devas as weapon to attack in couple, and they could not be stopped by foes of inferior honor. Only the XXIII, the spiritual heroes, those who, by their pure blood, were beyond the opposed principles Kla and Ekla, achieved to stop the dogs Devas. Is what you, who display the sign of Shiva, can do today, with Kla and Ekla. You see, concluded the Guru, that even though your power to stop an enraged mastiff by means of your command voices could seem to you an inimitable feat, and perhaps it is in Occident, you couldn't do anything against a couple of dogs Devas. Of course, I'm talking about the SS initiates in general. Because you, sweet pilgrim, are different to the others, you possess the ancient Tao, the active stillness of Shiva meditating. You can dominate the dogs Devas with the mind, because your spirit is beyond Kla and Ekla. Imagine, Nifetero, 8 rods with the Trishula or trident on each extreme, that's to say, 8 rods and 16 tridents, disposed parallelly one next to the other, and separated by small distances. Imagine then another equal set, but with the rods arranged perpendicularly to the aforementioned. Apply finally one set over other to form a grillage, and you will obtain the basic form of the yantra that the Guru Visaragada taught me. A quadrangular grill with 8 tridents edgewise and 49 interior. After the referred explanation, the Guru, always accompanied by the couple of sadhakas and fierce dogs, guided me to a lounge illuminated by hundreds of candles, and which floor was not paved. From one of the multiple ledges covered with candles, he took one of the bags filled with fine sand and many colors, and, with singular mastery, and he threw them on the ground forming the described kikor. He asked me if I'd be capable to remember it. I assented with a gesture, and then he said, "Son of Shiva, don't be surprised, because we know your secrets, because we know more of you than what you learn. You come from a far country, much more distant than the Kamarapo, that seem very remote to us, but you have a lot in common with the Kalakas. You are from our same race and Varna, you're a Kshatriya. You fight in our same side against the same enemy. You're initiated in the same ancient wisdom of Shiva, the Lord of the War, and the destruction of Maya, the wisdom that fundaments the Tantra Kala. And, for us, initiates of the Tantra Kala, you're at look of Shiva, as I called you a moment ago. You know what's at the look?" "I think so," I responded without much conviction, "the reincarnation of a god." "No." Guru Visaragada denied with firmly, although he smiled compassionately. "You must say, anyway, one of the simultaneous reincarnations of a god. According to the Tantric doctrine, when God, in a determined period, decides to reveal himself unto men, can do it, and generally do it, in a multitude of physical manifestations. Then, the God possesses a plurality of bodies, exists as a man simultaneously in different places and circumstances. Those men, as you, express the signs of the God, but sometimes they ignore that are bless. Therefore, there are many bless at the same time. Our Tibet has been always rich in bless, due to the elevated spirituality of the Aryans, and the other races that dominated likewise the ancient wisdom. We are, perhaps, the only initiates in the world that know how to read the signals of the bless. But now, at the end of the age of Kali, the God's haven moved to the countries of the region, whence you come to others that are behind the 10 seas. Your homeland, Germany, where the strongest descendants of the common racial trunk have gathered, is one of the last terrestrial scenarios, in which the bless will represent the drama of the war of the heavens. You're at look of Shiva. It is not casual that you are complying a mission, neither that we are helping you. The other bless, who coexist with you in your nation, who with great wisdom have sent you to obstruct the pass of the Sheras of Shambhala. And because we recognize you as the look, is that we are going to give you the Diksha in the Kikosvedi. Give the Diksha, initiation into the Svedi Kikor, or Dok Kikor. Can you suppose if, the doubts that provoked me the beliefs of the Kalikas? Me, at the look? The truth is that, I felt the manifestation of unique spirit, but, in no way, I could affirm or deny that, I was the only manifestation. I had never thought in so disquieting possibility but, indeed, in that moment I didn't believe it. Although, it would have not disgusted me, for example, to participate as at the look, from the essence of the Führer, and share in this manner his destiny of glory. The Guru offered me a coup constructed with a human skull, artistically coated inside with silver plates, and studded with emeralds, which was overflowed with a disagreeable potion. It contained Nentect, the tantric version of the Soma, Amrita, or mead. It means, the elixir of the initiation rituals, the drink of the gods, siddhas, or semi-gods, Viryas. The Nentcheud is employed mainly, in the ritual of the 5 Ms, because, it is elaborated with the 5 forbidden things, 5 types of meat, even human, 5 fishes, 5 cereals, 5 wines, and 5 substances related to sex, as urine, semen, blood, feces, and medulla. I drank it with evident distrust, and the Guru Vasaragad, perhaps to reassure me, spread in his explanation a little. There are many classes of Kikor, of death, of liberation, of enchantment, of power, etc. And, all require the mastery in the mantram yoga, and the perfection in the pronunciation of the magic formulas that vivify them. For this reason, there are 3 grades or forms to affirm the words of power or bijas. The Japapekika, that consists to scream the bijas, as acoustic orders, at the manner of military command voices. This is the lowest of the Japasnes, the one that the SS uses to dominate the mastiffs. The Japapenshu, recitation of bijas, that demands to express the bijas, without screaming nor talking, as astral orders. And at last, the most elevated of the japas is the Manasa, which effect is not casual but synchronistic, that's to say, that makes coincide charismatically the bijas, with the fact that is desired to effect, as uncritted orders. As the sticks of the I Ching forms, an uncritted meaning that reveals or discover the designs of the gods, an unwanted meaning by the gods, a meaning that was not in the destiny, a meaning that emerges by non-causal coincidence between the unknown superior and the known inferior, a meaning booted by the magician mentor the traitor gods, in the same mode the Japamenasa acts by the mere determination of the initiates, of those who are beyond the Kla and Ekla. You must know, O Shivachult, that only the great initiates are capable to acquire mastery in the Japapenshu of the 2nd level. They are who possess the power of Dlupa, or Mudrashilpa, the capacity to concede reality to the ordered ideas and make them appear in the world. With the adequate Kikor, and the correct Japapenshu, it is possible to make appear every kind of material objects, or to produce boundless phenomenons. Right here, these gods Deva, that you see, are just Dlupas, created by us, to demonstrate your power of Dluk. In fact, don't amazed. We have created the Degus, mentally for you to put into practice the superior Japa, the Japa but only you, O Shivachult, can govern them, with the Japas of the Kikosvedi. The Kalikas require a dangerous Diksha, and they only reach to express the Japa Penshu, but you, that are a Virya, only need that we transmit you, the power Virya that permits to give life to the mental projections Lupa, the anchor of the Japa. You are not a Kalika, but, you're a Tantrika. And you have the power of the Japa. Then, he proceeded to supply me, the key of the 49 Bijas, that were in the appropriate sectors of the Kikor. The magical control procedure was the next. I had to imagine a grill of the Kikor, and situate in each square a Bija, or word of power, and each Bija, was an order that the dogs would obey automatically. One Bija, meant silence. Other move. Other stop. Other attack. Etc. Until complete 49. Notwithstanding my initial skepticism, and for the joy of the monks, I could verify that the system was certainly ineffable. Once I memorized the yantra, the dogs became an extension of my own mind, and the slightest insinuation of the Bijas was enough to make them obey without hesitate, or, better said, without bark. As such effect was logically surprising, I could not avoid asking the Guru about the mode in which the mental control became effective. For us is very simple, he clarified. We have embodied a similar Kikor to this one in the subtle body of each dog, and we have established an analogic correspondence between each Bija and some vital or driving functions of both animals. If this would be done with just one animal, of any species, the Guru, or the Kalika initiate, could dominate it without obstacles. But, as I said before, the couple of dogs Devas is different. They participate of unique dog archetype, and both are normally balanced. If the mental order is emitted underneath the archetypical plane, one neutralizes the other, and it lacks of effect. Only who is capable to think above the archetypal plane, beyond the created archetype by the gods of the matter, about the relative duality of the manifested and the absolute unity of the unmanifested, can make prevail his will in the action of the Deva dogs. Never forget it. No master of the hierarchy, nor anyone whose thought is composed by opposed principles, could stop the dogs Devas. Kla and Epta, Nifetchero, were the great-grandparents of Yin and Yang, the Degus that attacked you when you entered in so furtive manner in the ranch, and I took you as an enemy. Just as their ancestors, they are beta mental orders of the yantra, and both move at the same time, perfectly synchronized.